Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of TerraTech. And on tonight's episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. Now, for those of you who may have missed the last couple episodes, we have done a little bit of harvesting, a little bit of the main missions, and a few of the base building ones. And something we have learned along the way is how to redesign our base so that it actually works a little bit more efficiently with the new design. Now, those of you who may have started the game either before I did or around the same time I did will know that they have changed a dramatic number of things when dealing with the base. One of the main things is it actually works. Now, I'm not trying to insult the game at all. I love this game, but the harsh realism is when I first came into this game, the one thing that I really wanted to see the most of is the base building, and it was the one part of the game that really was not operating at all. The rest of the game surprised me just how enjoyable it was, but now that we actually get to play around with the base, we've seen over the last few months them change it again and again and again. So those of you who learned one way coming back into it and you're just like, my base isn't working the way I need to, you might need to refresh, some of the ways you're doing things. Now, one of the biggest things is you no longer have to sit here and micromanage it. You don't need a row of conveyors just for the unrefined resource. You don't need a row of conveyors for the refined. That was one of the things you needed this little filter conveyor for, is that a lot of the time those conveyors would mesh together and you'd want them to separate the stuff into different rows. Now you don't really need to do that. Now you can have everything on these silos, and you can actually pull things off of the silos automatically with your building tools over here, your GSO Fabricator and your GeoCore Fabricator. Now, I don't know if there's a Venture Fabricator in the actual game yet. I do apologize, guys. I do know that it's in the game as far as the R&D department goes, but I don't know if it's in the actual playthrough as of today. We will definitely be checking that out here fairly soon, because we do have a quest to start our venture ones. Where is it at? This is Destroy the Tech Group, a venture license. There you go. So this one's going to start that mission. So we're going to go ahead and set that one though as our main, so we'll be able to find it. But we're going to mess around with the base a little bit. As you can see, I have made some changes to it. All of my resources, regardless of whether they're refined or unrefined, go onto the silo. Preferably unrefined would be the way to go about it. And then as I come over here to, say, my GSO Fabricator and I right click on it, it opens up a menu, and you can see all the items you're allowed to build, the ones that you are allowed to build but you don't know the recipe for, or at least you haven't done it yet. Those will allow you to make these items and then have access to buying them, because you technically should have access to it at the grade that you're in, but you they don't want to give you everything every single time you upgrade. So they give you a few of the main components that they know you're going to want, like the shields and things of that sort. But everything else you need to find in the world by doing little tiny missions. Sometimes they just pop up as exclamation marks. You go there, you fight the guys, and as a reward, they give you something. And it may be something you've already gotten, 50, 60 of in the past, but sometimes it's something you have never seen before, such as one of these items. Now, the scrapper is the one that we're going to be trying to make, because if you look at some of the other pieces that you can make in here, you will see the components that are required to make those. Well, if you find these pieces in the actual world off of an enemy that you destroy, you can then take those pieces and convert them down into their base components, which are these pieces right here. Some of these pieces are hard to find, whereas the pieces themselves, the actual blocks in the game, are not. So like this ore right here is not very plentiful on the map that I got, the seed that it started me with. However, these items that you can get them off of, the tractor conveyor belts and some of these other ones, I think batteries use them as well. Those do drop from time to time, and some of them drop a lot. So I will probably be taking apart like the lights, because I'll get a little bit out of that, and I never seem to use the lights for very much of anything, and it's going to help me earlier in the game. So that's really why I want that scrapper. So we're going to go ahead and hit the craft block, and you're going to see that it should be able to communicate with the rest of the blocks. And you'll see right here on the block itself, it's a little blurry because it's in the foreground, but there it is right there, and it's sending out a electrical signal, and it should communicate with any of the other blocks out here and say, hey, I need those, let's pull them down the conveyor belt. It doesn't seem like it's doing it as well or at all as it should, so that's kind of weird. Let's see, are they not lined up just right? They should be just fine the way they are. What if I remove that and change the direction it's going? All those items will then go on the conveyor belt. There you go. You can see them going down. They will find a spot to get on, and if there are no spots, they will keep going. It does seem like this one right here has plenty of spots, so might hold most of that line, but some of it should get by, and I want to make sure that it's going in the way that it's supposed to, because I just redesigned this. It was semi-working as far as like it's going around this little thing. I haven't actually tried to make anything yet because I wanted to wait and do that on camera, because I only have enough to do like one scrapper before I start running out of stuff. Now, the rest of them should go directly on there. If you have it set up like I do, where these right here, these GSO refineries are after the silos and you don't have enough space, your things will go down, get refined, and come back out. If you don't want that to happen, just put another line of conveyors going across from this one right here to the one right across over here, and they will just go around in circles again and again and again, and you might have to add more silos if you really need that. But that one doesn't seem to be working. Let's see. What if I click on this one and tell it to make something else? Something I know we've made in the past, something we should be able to make again. Such as, no, that one's a little more difficult. We do have these. Yeah, you can see them right there in the distance. If my screen was changed just to angle a little bit, you can see right here. There's the ore right there. As far as plumbite, I do believe we have one or two of those pieces right over here. Yeah, there we go. So if I click this, it should definitely snag those pieces, and it's not doing it. So there is something wrong with that. What if I move them to, say, this side, and I click it again and tell it to do the scrapper? Will it snag those pieces? Okay, so it's going to snag those pieces. For some reason, being a little bit further down from this way is not working the way it should. And we'll have to kind of mess around with that. But you can see right here, it is communicating with these and telling it, okay, go ahead and refine those. Leave these other ones unrefined, yada, yada, yada. And it gives you just the right number of pieces that you need. Unless you set it on repeat, and then it will just keep pulling these things in and making more and more and more. We don't really need a whole bunch. We just need a scrapper. Let's go ahead and... I guess what we could do is we could leave it here. We'll leave the scrapper here, and when we bring items back with our SCU, we'll throw it down here on the ground and actually watch them scrap this. In fact, let's do that now. Let's see, where does it need items to come in? Actually, let's put this on the ground so we can see how this works. Let's move this over, like right there, and we will open up our inventory and see if we can pull out... You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to snag this thing, I think. Let's put that there, and let's check out some blocks that we do not necessarily need, like this one, the plow. I'm probably not going to use that. Can we put it up here? Okay, so that got sucked in. I kind of had to do that myself. I think there's certain blocks. These used to be, the large receivers used to be the ones that you could actually have. That's probably going to give me more than one. Yeah, see, I'm going to need... No, that's not... Oh, you suck, you piece of... So, okay, so it does pick it up from rather far away. That was not what I wanted, but... Ugh, that sucked. Okay, well, live and learn on that lesson. Wow, it's making a lot of stuff. This is what I was talking about right here. I don't really need any of these, but what I could do, since I already have the ingredients for it, is I could simply make another one of the pieces that I actually lost. So... let's come back down here. We are going to... I guess we'll go with this for now. It's not ideal, but we'll go with it. And we'll go with maybe, let's say, right here. A couple of these guys right there on the side. So you can at least snag what needs to be snagged. Now, the only bad thing is this SCU is pretty close. So I'm going to move that way over here. So anything I do put down doesn't accidentally get snagged by that thing again. And... I'm kind of, you know, just like in between those two, I would never know which one it's going to take. So we got that. Let's go ahead and check out, see if we can make, let's cancel that. So that's going around. Let's see if we can make a, A giant receiver? Oh, okay, yeah, we have enough for that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's turn off repeat because we don't want to repeat it. We just want one. And it should actually bring me the ingredients that I got from that one and just make me another one. Like, I don't think there's any lost in translation right there. So hopefully this is going to work and we'll get our item back. And then we could throw down some more over here and just kind of see what we get out of it. See if we get anything good. Oh, there we go. Yep, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The only other thing I would suggest maybe doing is throwing the SCU, or at least one of them, on that end so that it can pick that stuff up automatically for you. You don't have to come back and like, okay, do I want that? Because once it goes into the SCU, you know, again, you can pretty much do with it as you please. You don't have to be like, oh no, I got to snag it now, otherwise I got to go in there and find it. Well, yeah, that kind of is the case, but it really isn't. They're so easy to find in there. It's just kind of like let it go in there and worry about it after the fact. Let's see. Can we make any of these? GSO magnet. You know, we're gonna give it a shot. Let's see if it will make it. GSO down conveyor. We don't really need that one. Aerofoil. If we're gonna do the planes, we're definitely gonna want to snag some of these. Fuel tank. Oh yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with a booster. See if we can grab some of that. Let's see what else are you guys needing. There we go. There it is right there, guys. And that is kind of cool. Now, we haven't played around with that since being back in with the new build, but that is definitely an item we're going to kind of throw down and see if we can figure out how it works a little bit better. In fact, it might be a good method for me to throw it onto my bot somewhere and just, yeah, have the item stored there rather than always having to pick up every single piece. So maybe like that, and then when I need to, I can just... you know, toss it off and let everything go back into the SCU. So we're going to give that a shot the way it is now. And I put another booster on there. There's definitely more we can play around with this, but for now we're going to leave it as is so we can go off there and do that mission. And we can play around with the new item that we got. Let's go ahead and put these here for now. Take back that over. There we go. A little bit better view. When you're dealing with a base, I do really wish that you could zoom in on certain pieces of the base. I hate to always ask for more and be like, man, you just got all this stuff and you're still asking for more. Well, you know, it's just one of those things where it makes it so much easier if you get a few of these luxuries, you know. And they definitely are luxuries. They're not breaking the game even remotely. But, you know, if I had them, I'd definitely be using them. So... let's go ahead and throw that in there, and we are going to go off and see if we can defeat this new Venture Drifter, which will start off our new journey down the Venture grade. That's not something we've actually seen too often. Ah, there we go. See, it's working. It's picking this stuff up. I wonder how many of those it carries, because it is the larger magnet. There used to be a little tiny one. Don't know if it's still in the game. I don't even know if that's using power. It definitely seems like it should be, the way, you know, like you even see the lightning bolts coming off of that, the electricity just spewing off of that. Oh, look at that. See, it's actually touching the ground and the wheels. Like, it's feeling the ground and just seeing if there's anything of magnetic properties out there so it can pull it in. It would be cool, though, to see if you got the ability to pull resources that are made out of metals as well. Or maybe it's not using metals. Maybe it's using something else. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see how that works out. Renegade Tech spotted. Destroy it. Oh, yeah. We'll destroy this guy. We'll take all his pieces, though. Oh, yeah. Look at that. He is a Venture bot. Let me go ahead and hit my boosters. We'll get a little bit over that. Oh, got some damage on him. Some new wheels. Some of it's getting destroyed, but not all of it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Venture license upgrade 1. Let's go ahead and destroy this dude real quick. He's about to pop, and he is all over the place. We got the Venture cab, the Venture 1 block, little tiny dirt wheels. You got a couple of lights down here, a spotlight and a light that spins around. And then, of course, you got one of the smallest and, in my opinion, most pathetic machine guns in the game. I do not use those guns at all. They... I hate to say they're worthless, because they're not. They will give you resources if you recycle them. And, you know, of course, when you have nothing and you're looking for something that goes into that field, wow, look at how much that thing will snag and hold on for you. That is absolutely crazy. And you can see the range. Look at that. That range is massive. Now, I don't know how high up that goes, so if you put it on top of your bot, like right up here, will it pull things from all the way around it? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to put that there, and we're going to see how much of it will snag and pull back into me. If it doesn't work, we'll just put it right back where it is. But I do like to play around with these things and see if we can figure it out. Now, we have to mine some Olite jelly. We're definitely been doing that one as we see them. We need some rhodite ore, a little bit more of that. Some erudite shards. Those are the green ones. Those are going to be a little bit harder to get. And we got some destroy some enemies. Well, we got plenty of battery. And we have some new features that we want to try out, especially this magnet. So let's go destroy some guys and see if maybe, just maybe, we can get some stuff. Never know what you're going to find there. Now, the resources, I have been kind of lax in getting more and more of them. I did spend an entire episode where that's all we did was kind of go around and snag some stuff. Oh, look, it looks like the magnet is working. Now, is this going to be the best place for it? I don't know on that one just yet. I mean, it is going to get crowded in here, and there's a little bit of space. To be honest, my method of building bots has been a little bit more set in the way the game used to work, where you could take your entire base with you. I guess they didn't really intend for that to be the case, because pretty much they've made all objects, all base pieces in this game needed to be, or needs to be, put down as an anchor. It doesn't work if it's on a moving, bot of some sort. So it needs to be anchored into the ground. That has pretty much ended base bots. And, it made a fun time while it was going on. Like, building these giant base bots was absolutely a blast. You did get a little bit too big for your britches a lot of the time, making your bot so big the map itself would have problems rendering you. Also, when you went into areas where you could harvest resources, it added even more lag to the game. And I don't know, they came a saturation point where you were just too big for your computer to handle, and that's going to change depending on how great your computer is. They kind of fixed that from being a problem anymore by just saying, well, there's no reason to have a bot that big anymore. Of course, you can add a lot of weapons and you could add armor, but being that big, not as useful as it used to be. Like, you could really go all out and put all these different layers to your base and have them recycle things, have them refine things, make stuff. And nowadays, with all the added benefits of the game, the way they put things in, you'd have even more ability to do things than you were before, and it would just make people want to have a base bot all the time. So I think they realized that, and they've kind of fixed it in a way by just saying no more, you're just not allowed to do it. Let's see, can we see it? I guess we can, and then all the pieces go to my backside. So maybe not the best idea ever to have that right there. If I put it on the back, at least when I drop it, all gets dropped onto the ground. I guess it's really not hurting anything by putting it there in the center. It's just not as useful, or I don't know, just a little messy, I think, in my opinion, just a little too messy. There we go. We got some lights, we got a shovel, a few melee thing, actually just one melee thing, and some wheels. And then we got a couple pieces over here, which I'll just drag over and drop for this thing to pick up. Or my magnet to pick up. Either way is going to work, I guess. Does it override the magnet? I guess it does. I guess maybe if the magnet's put down at the same time, maybe it doesn't, because now it's hooked to me. So I don't know. We'll have to watch that one again and see how that would work. But yeah, definitely kind of cool. I like the magnet now. It didn't serve very much of a purpose in the old days, because this magnet did the exact same thing that the giant or large SCU unit used to do. And some little dude, Ivan, is going after me. Man, can you imagine once they throw in multiplayer? I cannot wait for multiplayer to come out. But when they finally throw in multiplayer and you're just going through your regular mission, like an average little thing, you're just doing your thing. Is this stuck back here? Is this what's hanging me up? I don't know. There we go. Now I'm able to turn. So I think that actually was kind of stuck there on the back. Maybe another reason not to keep it back there. Gonna have to wait and see on that one, see if the jury's still out. There we go. It's picking most of the stuff up. Again, I have to run through this, whereas the other way in the center, I could just kind of... Oh, yeah, look at that. That's a little ridiculous. Okay, let's move this. Actually, let's move this so it's a little further up. We'll move this guy to where he's right on top of it. We'll go into build mode. Everything should get pushed out from underneath me. Yep, everything is pushed out. Come on, guys. There we go. So it does take a little bit of movement. Like, if you're stuck right in that field and you haven't moved at all, like you're gonna have to move. Now nothing's coming up the way it's supposed to. I don't know about this. Now I'm gonna knock everything back. It's like it demagnetizes it. Let's just put it here on the back. Yeah, that's definitely not working. So we might need more than one. But yeah, I mean, it used to be the large receiver did all that for you. Wow, I lost a lot of power there. Did I lose a lot of power because I was getting damaged? I wasn't really paying attention, but I drained a lot of power somehow. Because the last time I looked up there, I did have 3 bars of green. And the only way I could see maybe running out of that power is those guys were doing a lot of damage and I just wasn't paying attention. Okay, so not letting me pick this stuff up. I guess maybe, you know, I am playing around with the magnet. Normally you would just throw this thing down and be done with it, but I did kind of want to try that out and see if the magnet would help me. I think it has its uses. It also has its limitations, and its limitations is when you start getting too many too quickly. I'm going to snag this and use that for power regenerations here in the future. There we go. That seems to be working. Let's go ahead and put this back in here. And we have another enemy over there. That is the invader, which unfortunately we are not prepared for. Oh man, I want to take him out too because he has no shields on, but it's nighttime and we really have no way of creating more power without going back to our base. So I guess that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to our base. I do need to put some more batteries back there so I can use that as like a fuel dump. I can come back whenever I feel like it, like in these situations where I'm like, oh, okay, I want to go and kill some guys, but I just don't have the power to do so, and it's nighttime, and I can't survive throughout the night. I can come back to my base, recharge, and set right back into motion, and not really worry about it because this thing will recharge while I'm gone, but I don't have that massive battery bank on this thing yet to do that. So that is definitely something I need to... man, it looks really cool, though, when you get close to this thing. The amount of items that you can make with these resources, and as long as you bring back a few every single time, or a few blocks you don't need that you can recycle, like that is the way to do it, guys. I think that's going to make a gameplay, or a part of the gameplay that I have not seen. Oh, look at that. I didn't even have to drop this. I don't even have to deconnect it. It seems to realize that you're not going to be using these pieces and to just demagnetize itself and throw it up here on the recycler because you're within range of it. That is absolutely beautiful. I was not expecting that to be the case, and yet it is. Let's go ahead and throw this thing down over here so it can pick up any of the pieces that may fall. Let's see. How are we going to do this? We are going to come in here, and we're going to make some items that we have not made before. I think that's the best way on these receivers. Actually, let me go ahead and take over the base. We'll zoom in a little bit. And let's make some stuff. Let's do, yeah, the aerofoil. We might be able to start making some plane pieces here. Now, I'm only going to do one at a time because, again, I need to make sure that I have the resources to do this. And if I'm running low on one of them, I don't want to, like, split and could have made one. Instead, I'm, like, halfway in between both. Because if you come back in here and change this to make something separate, it gets rid of the resources. The resources don't come out once they go in. So... not a good idea to set these things on repeat. If there's even a remote chance that you're going to be changing that in the future, just set it to do 1 or 2. I guess I don't have any of the crystals. Oh yeah, those are the ones out here in the desert that are a little bit harder to find. Okay, so I can't do those. Do I have any of the red ones? Yes, I do have some of the red ones. So let's go ahead and make a fuel tank here. That one should be doable. Yeah, look, there's quite a few red in there. And silver, yeah, those should be fine. I do love how they communicate. Look at that, guys. Yeah, the little tiny antennas on all these things are communicating with one another and saying, I want that refined, I want that one unrefined. And it's beautiful to see. Like, that is something you had to do manually for the longest time. There we go. We got that one. You can see now I can buy those if I want to go in there and buy them. Aerofoil requires that blue stuff, which we do not have any of. So that's something I definitely need to keep an eye out for. What about mortars? Man, that uses a lot. It uses a lot of these. I don't know if I have that many, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. I think I have enough black... what is it? What are those called? If it will stay still long enough, and it's not going to. Alright, so, yeah, it looks like I have enough. It might be all of my my gray, you know, whatever right there. I gotta learn the name of these things eventually. But yeah, that might be all of them. But, you know, it doesn't really seem to matter because now I can take things apart. No, I still have a few left, actually. I still have 4 over there on that side alone. Got a lot of wood. Need to use this wood for something. Now, I guess this is going to have to go all the way back around because it did... maybe I can add another one down the center. But for some reason, these down here don't seem to work. In fact, let me see if I can make something over here, like a battery. 18 road. I think I have these roads. I just don't think I have the other one. So let's see how this one works. Does it pull anything off? See, it's not pulling anything off. None of those resources will go all the way down here. And it's kind of weird. I'm not sure why it draws the line at this point. Like, obviously, it should be close enough to communicate with all these pieces, but it's not. So let's let this thing finish right here. It's going to go ahead and take that and make it. Now, I could go ahead and snag that one and just deconstruct it, but for now, we're going to leave it the way it is. Now, if I come back in here and say, make me a battery, it should, there we go, it should start taking the resources that it needs and putting it back in there. And in fact, let's go back into our weapons. How many mortars do I have? I only have 1 mortar. Well, that 1 mortar is getting taken apart right there. We'll go ahead and take apart a few of these other ones, like the plasma cutter. I don't really use those. Or can it not take the plasma cutter apart because it's not a... Yeah, it might not be able to do it because it's Geocore and this is GSO. So, that might be a thing, guys. Let's go ahead and throw that down and see if it gets picked up. No, it immediately went to the other one, and now it's going into the SCU. Okay, well, that is interesting to know. Not very helpful. Let's throw this in there. Yep, that's going to work. I guess maybe Venture wouldn't work either, would it? No. If you put it over it, you'll see kind of glow if it's going to work, and that's not going to be the case. There we go. Another one of these drills. One of the drills got sucked up into the other one. And we'll throw one more down. And that one's going to get sucked back into the SCU. So a pretty good setup right here. Not too bad. And that one does have some silver in it. So we might get rid of the other one as well, since we're not going to be using those. Let's get that in there. And how many more does this thing need? 6 out of 18. It looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Oh, yeah, that should be enough. Yeah, because there's still more coming. That should be enough. We'll give it a second and see how many more it needs. And this is what I was talking about, guys. If you had to buy this battery, it'd be expensive. But I can just make it with the pieces I already have. And that's just beauty right there to be able to do that. There we go. There is a battery. And now I should be able to throw that back up here. Throw down some of my... my solar reactors, if it will let me. Kind of a little wonky with sometimes when you're far or too far away from something, it doesn't quite want to recognize it the way it should. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's just kind of little minor details that make your gaming experience a little bit less of a chore and a little bit more of an enjoyment when it comes to just little things making your life easier and not more difficult. So yeah, I'm not hating on them at all, guys. It's just when I see things like that, I'm like, oh man, if it was just a tiny bit easier, you know, I wouldn't have to, you know, be a chore as much as like the base used to be, where you had to sit there and kind of baby it as much as you did. Now, guys, I am going to let this charge up, and in between this episode and the next, when we come back, we are going to be working on several things. We're going to go kill some more hostiles. We got the invader out there, and we haven't seen a new invader come since this guy has showed up, so we definitely need to kill him so we can get a few more in there. We also want to finish off some of these quests, and I'm guessing now that we actually have the venture license, they're going to give us things for that as well. So we just need to clear up some of these quests before we can get more, I'm guessing. Either way, it's good money and good experience on all these to finish them up. So that's going to be our goal. As always, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. If you guys have any tips or tricks or suggestions you guys want me to pass on to people, especially when it comes to the base, it's changed so much over the last few months, last few weeks, dramatically, actually. So yeah, things are a lot different from the way I kind of started the game playing them with. and sometimes I revert back to those old ways and it just does not work. So yeah, any tips and tricks, leave them in the comments below. Let people know so they don't have all those troubles and trials and tribulations that everybody else has to go through. And as always, guys, I'm AC Gamer, and I will definitely catch you next time. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.